Hi. Can you hear me okay? No.
Muted.
Oh. How are you doing?
I'm exhausted. I don't really even know why, but I'm like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
hey, that's
Well, here we are. Is it just me and you?
you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Are you the host? I don't think I got the email with the host.
I don't know. Let me double check.
I don't think I got the email, but I can start entering.
Is it the same host password, you think, from the others?
They have like a handful of them, so what I have done in the past, if I don't have it, is I just like start randomly entering the ones that I've gotten from her.
All right. I can do it if you want. Let's see.
Oh, you got it.
There we go.
Great. You want to turn on the closed captions or whatever?
Yep. Here we go.
Wonderful. Okay, let's see. It is 6:33. Order. And the meeting is being recorded, and there is closed captioning available. So the stuff that I put on the agenda was just like very vague and beginning stuff. So brainstorm event ideas. I wanted to talk about the land acknowledgement. I feel like maybe we could roll it out during this time, but I wanted to check in with you about it.
Yeah.
Figure out whatever our next steps are.
Cool. I feel like, can we start with the land acknowledgement? I feel like because we got the okay from the MCNAA, we're probably okay to go forward with using it. I know that we wanted sort of a more dedicated kind of representative to say that it was all right, but what do you think?
That's where I was at. You know, I had reached out to the Massachusetts people, and I'm not like surprised or dismayed that they didn't get back to us. I think that they have a lot to handle, like their own stuff. So, but the fact that we were able to check in with, we checked in with a couple people, because you checked in with the person from MCNA, and then also I brought by a couple other people. So I sort of feel like after having done that and gotten that feedback and made those revisions, I would rather start using it than just continue not to do it, you know? Right. And it doesn't mean it can't change, you know, or be revised.
Do you think that we should? So I think originally the thought was like we were gonna use it, and then in every meeting we were going to try and do something fantastic, and then I think totally got over my skis of how many fantastic things I could come up with for every meeting. So maybe it's, you know, we're doing the land acknowledgement, we're celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day or month. And that sort of in and of itself will reflect our, you know, dedication to inclusion.
think that we can. I think we can do something in addition to that that's not necessarily a big lift. You know, it could be, and maybe this can be in my wheelhouse, you know, because you're chairing the commission now. I'm happy to do a little something each month of like, you know, if you're interested in learning more, check out this resource or something, you know what I mean? Things like that.
That would be cool. I like that. To your point, like it doesn't have to be something insane, like it, you know, interesting information or historical point that we've read or seen and we add it as part of the agenda. So I'll update the agenda for next month to include that actually. Do we need to vote again on everyone being okay that we use the land acknowledgement, or can we just start doing it?
I remember what had happened last time around. Because I think we voted on it, and I think if we have voted on it, we should go forward. But if we just discussed it but never formally decided, like maybe we were still waiting to hear back from Massachusetts.
I think we were,
you know,
yeah.
so maybe we never did vote on
I
it.
think we were waiting for Massachusetts tribe to okay it. And that was back in April. I see a message to Rafa.
Man, it feels so much longer ago than April. That's the thing. We should check in with Rafa and see if he wants to be involved. He was involved in planning the event last year.
Yeah. All right, well, maybe that's what we do is we, you know, feel like we're confident enough that we've had MCN approve it and we'd like to use it, you know, as part of if we're doing an event. They even made an edit back then. Which makes me feel even better about it because he made that edit. So I'm actually going to forward this to the HRC email so that we have it in our inbox.
Yeah, it's not totally clear for me from these notes that there was a vote. It says proposal, read it at the beginning of every WHRC public meeting, adding additional information to raise awareness, acknowledge current events and activism, and providing context and history, etc. But there's not like anything where it says like if we voted or how many people, you know, voted or whatever.
Cool. Okay.
So maybe let's vote on it.
Like it. All righty. I am looking for our agenda. I'm sorry. I feel like I left one meeting to head right into another one. Let me just go see if I can find it. What
Okay.
other items did you put on there for
And
the?
the other thing is basically just like brainstorming, thinking about what
Oh,
possible,
good.
possible, event ideas. You had thought of, or you had contacted someone, I think, that you know.
Yeah, there's a woman named Nicole Friedrichs. She works at Suffolk University. And I originally reached out to her for something work related, but then just kind of stayed in contact with her. And she's an attorney, and she has argued sort of land rights for Native Americans. And she's also online. You can, sort of YouTube her, but she's done, she's gone to like, speaker series and things like that. And so I thought it would be good to at least have a conversation with her up front about, what kind of speaker series she's been involved in recently. The last one I saw was like 2018 or something like that. And if she'd be open to, chatting with us, and maybe we do something virtual that we post, or maybe we partner with the library and have her come in and we do something in the library.
Speaker series. So are you thinking a series of events? Or are you thinking just that's what you've seen her do before, is being part of a speaker series?
Yeah, I've just seen her do it. But it was more of like it was like a panel and she was on the panel. But I was actually thinking of just her maybe coming in, and we could host her and she can talk about maybe the work she's done and maybe what she does at Suffolk. I don't know.
I was looking for notes for this event that I went to, and either I didn't take notes, which seems highly unlikely for me as a compulsive note taker, or I just can't find them. Because I went to an event, maybe not last year, but the year before, probably, with like a really wonderful native speaker out of Salem. And I remember him being really like, the things that he was sharing in the talk that he gave was like very accessible, very like welcoming, and what's the word, like accessible, like it just made it, there was a nice tone of like, we're all learning, and like here's some things that I'm learning, even like as a Native person, and I wish I could find the notes because I totally can't remember this person's name, but he shared his contact info during the event. He was like, you should reach out to me, like just like give me a call, I would love to hear from anybody. And so
where
I
was
my notes.
Do you remember where it was?
It was a virtual event. I don't remember like who hosted it, honestly. Apparently I remember almost nothing about it. But it was like an Indigenous history like workshops.
Was it before the pandemic?
I think it was during the pandemic, because it was a virtual event, and that's like just not a thing. Like before the pandemic, I would never.
Right. You would have just gone, right? Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to keep digging, see if I can find figure out who that is. Oh, the other thing I thought about, and I don't have any like necessarily any indication that this is like workable or whatever, but I think it could be cool to reach out to the Melrose, I guess the Human Rights Commission, or somebody in Melrose. They put on a great Indigenous Peoples Day event last year. And I went to a planning event last year about planning Indigenous Peoples Day events that was hosted by Italian Americans for Indigenous Peoples Day. And one thing that they recommended was like, partner up with your neighboring towns. Like, it can be hard that time of year to have events if you are inviting Native people to participate, because then there's just like a lot of demand on people's time. So they had suggested partnering with neighboring towns in order to have like joint events. So I was thinking that could be an idea. I don't necessarily like have any contact people. Actually, I do have the contact information for Jim Bennett, who then came to speak to our group. Because they had 3 events last year. They had a viewing of Dawnland. They had that history talk that Jim Bennett and Farius Gray did. And they had a 3rd event that was like a family event or something on the in the park by Bell Pond. But so I have Jim Bennett's contact information, and then he, I assume, could put me in contact with like whoever it is in Melrose who might be planning an event for this year.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean,
same with
Reading. Maybe we do that with Reading too.
Reading, Stoneham, because doesn't Stoneham have a HRC type of a group now?
Yep.
So reach out to Jim.
I have Stoneham HRC's email address, so I will email them right now. And I'd like to get to know the woman. I think it's a woman that's working for Reading.
That DEI person.
Yeah. So I will reach out to them too. That would be amazing. Can you imagine like a Melrose, Stoneham, Wakefield, Reading Indigenous Peoples Day celebration? Maybe that's too big, but I don't know. It'd be kind of cool.
It could be cool, and there could be a series of events possibly. We can also pool resources in terms of like funding to bring in speakers or artisans or whoever.
I love that. Okay. Okay, so that's cool. Do we want to do anything with social media like we did with Pride Month? Lots of profiles.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Maybe we can provide the content and just like send it to
Daniela.
Or maybe Daniela can show me. She had this thing, she said, where you can like pre-schedule things.
Right.
To get posted, which I totally didn't know existed. But maybe if she tells me how to do that, I can do it instead of just like making her do it.
Cool. I think she did like one profile every day. That feels like a lot, but maybe if we did like 1 or 2 a week, that feels like it's manageable, you know? Okay.
think it could be cool, and they could be things like profiles of individuals, but also like things, you know, like local campaigns. Like there's a campaign happening right now on the Cape regarding the Pine Barrens. There's a campaign about local, like how hyper local it should be, or whether like national campaigns would be like of interest or like appropriate.
Mhm.
But you know, like awareness about current priorities and things that are underway, and
I love that.
some of them could be like historical posts about like historical things or whatever.
I wonder if we should see if any of the museums that month will have any sort of native art, and we could maybe buy a couple tickets and, I don't know, have a contest to give them away or something like that.
Yeah, there's some like weirdness there though, because a lot of art museums that have native art, it's like stolen.
Oh, that is a good point. You're right.
Like the
You're
holding
right.
at Harvard University like 2 years ago or whenever that was.
Mhm.
But I wonder if there, you know, there are, so there's an amazing place. Oh, we should make a post about them. There's this place in, I think it's in Natick, called the Ocotillo Cultural Center, which is operated by the Nipmuc Nation, or I mean, it's a nonprofit. It's not really operated by the Nipmuc Nation, but it's I think it's like a pretty strongly Nipmuc organization.
Yeah.
So it's operated by Native people. It's for Native people. They do like cultural teachings for their own youth. They do like shows like plays and different like theater performances. They do talks. They have like a bunch of stuff. It's an amazing place. And I don't know.
Pulled it up. It looks so cool.
It's so cool. I like have a huge crush on them as like a organization. So I don't know if they have events coming up, but we could maybe, like you said, like buy some tickets and raffle them or something, or like not raffle, but like give them as, I don't know.
It's OHKETEAU, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
And there's another place that's further away. It's in Western Mass. It's like pretty far away. It's like 3 hours from here. That I can't right at this very moment remember the name of, but I think I'll be able to find it. That's in like another place that looks like art and culture, like shows and exhibits.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I feel like we've got a lot of good ideas already.
So I think especially reaching out to the other HRCs or other like point people in these neighboring towns will be nice, because I can only imagine that people are already starting to plan this stuff too from those towns. So like joining forces, because there's also something nice about like cross promotion, right? Like say Melrose is already like somewhat far along in planning their thing, and they're like, well, we're not going to like change our whole plan to do a joint event with you, but maybe we could cross promote, or maybe they could have like, you know, a smaller role in an event that we do. I don't even know, whatever. We can feel it out with them and see what they think.
I love that. Cool. All right. Well, let's see. So I'm going to add the land acknowledgement to the agenda. I'll follow up with Nicole Friedrichs when I get back. And you're going to email Jim Bennett. I will email Redding and Stoneham.
I'm going to try to find the contact information for that speaker that I was telling you about at that history event.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so when do you want to meet?
Say it again.
When do you want to meet again?
Let's meet.
Indigenous Peoples' Day is, it's like October 10th.
Yeah. So we send messages this week. We'll probably get something back by early next week after everybody comes back from vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like the 12th, maybe the 9th, 8th.
I can do the 13th, but not the 12th. That's the 13th.
I could do the 13th.
2 weeks from today.
Mhm.
6:30?
Yep.
All right, I will post it.
Awesome. Thank you. Look at that. We're just so efficient. We just plan like that.
Keep you posted when I hear back. And then
Cool.
we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you for all this.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, and I hope you have. Hey, do you know anything about in-person meetings coming up? Are they ever going to let us have in-person meetings?
I don't think we'll do it for a while.
They keep telling me they're like, the conference room is going to be so great once they finish doing whatever, and I'm like, when is that going to happen? I'm like,
When will that ever happen? I have to say, it's kind of nice to be able to do it remote. Like I'm in my office in Boston. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like,
You can't beat it for convenience. It's true.
but I also kind of miss seeing people and like,
Chatting.
you know, yeah. But it is what it is.
Alrighty. Well, I will see you then 2 weeks from now.
See you 2 weeks from now. Have a good weekend. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Bye.